Otis, I understand every single day, guys, I understand that what's important is communicational skills, because when I come here every single day at Martin Place or Pitt Street Mall, or you see me around Australia, or you see me around the world, I realize that every single day I make it because I'm a better communicator than yesterday. I understand that what's important is understanding every single day how to communicate and why to communicate, and you must understand every single day, and you must understand every single day that no matter what you're doing is you must put the I before anything. You must understand every single day that when you really, let's say, expose yourself in the spotlight, and when you're producing music or whatever you're doing, you must be healthier, you must be spiritually much more better in terms of mentally, in terms of everything that you're doing, in terms of attitude. You must understand that your attitude must be greater. You must understand that today I'm much more inspirational because I understand that every single day I'm always focusing upon a better life for myself. And when I do that daily, I focus upon my communication skills, in terms of my communicational skills every single day, as much as I can. But for the past 12 hours, I've just been producing music. You understand? Whereas every single day, I just make sure that you understand that I'm a music producer, so I'm always, every single time, producing music or doing life coaching or doing writing. You understand? So either way, I realize that what's amazing is everything that I do is just life coaching and music production. I mean, do you understand? Or you must understand either way that comedy I can do and also acting. Or else every single day I'm focusing upon making sure that I just communicate daily because that's what gets me ahead. Or else anything that gets me ahead is something that's really controversy. Or else when I have controversy in my life, I go and speak to myself all day long because that's what controversy is. Or else I just go and really dwell upon I and what am I doing today to help my life. I focus upon myself daily so I can go and really grow my heart out. You understand? Because I understand that what's important is making sure that when you have 1,000 videos or 10,000 videos or 20,000 or 50,000 or 100,000 videos on YouTube, I realize now you're very popular. You know what I'm saying? So either way, you must understand that is the way to go every single day. So every single day, go and focus upon promoting yourself online and on social media and on yellow pages and start calling people up. And start sending your nice, beautiful content to billionaires and millionaires and get them surrounded with you. You understand? I mean, surround yourself with people who are millionaires and billionaires with knowledge. You understand? Because they are the people who are going to teach you something about life. I try every single day to read as much as I can. I try to every single day do music production as much as I can. I try to understand every single day to learn as much as I can because that's how I teach. I realize that what I teach daily is something that I love to do. I realize what do I love to do the most? I realize it's communicational skills so that I can go and better my I. I mean, in a sense, so my I is something that is very important and I have to be heard to understand how to live a greater life, because when I understand every single day how to do anything in life, I understand every single day I go and focus upon my ability to make sure that I'm just much more perfect. Whereas when I'm much more perfect than yesterday, I'm focusing upon different ideas that I can give you today so that you can focus upon making sure that you have a better life. I realize that, for example, my nice beautiful music production, you understand that every single time you go into a nice beautiful DAW, which is a digital audio workstation, you are creating music really with the piano roll. You must understand the piano roll is something that you use the melody with, you make bass lines, and then you make also counterintuitive melodies, and then you make your main melody, and then you make the pad version and the chords, and then also understand every single day, you must understand one pad is just one line of one note, you understand? And then what do you do with that? You put a reverb on it. You make sure every single day you go and EQ your nice beautiful music as much as you can to your ear. And what's amazing every single day is focus upon understanding that the kicks, for example, you must understand kicks are something that you really roll call in your nice beautiful melodies. And what you do every single 16 beats or 8 beats or 32 beats or 64 beats, or else depending on how long you want the kick to go for and how long you want that segment to go for, you must understand that you can go and really make your segments 32 beats in some type of forms, and then otherwise you can go also 16 beats in terms of your nice beautiful track, and then you can go 64 beats somewhere as well. You must understand to change it up, but make sure it's all different, you understand, and make sure that it all correlates with one another. But that is something that your melody does. You must understand that the first aspect of your life, that when you're really doing something around music production and your life, you're creating your own melody first. You understand? So you create your own melody first, and then you understand either way that you must be able to do one notes in terms of one note melodies, and all you ever do with one note melodies is just one line, baby. You use one line, you understand? And then what do you do with the rest? You must understand one melody is one pattern on one line, and then understand to make 7 lines. You understand? So what happens is the bass line goes underneath the melody, and then try to create 7 notes. Try to connect yourself with trying to do 7 note melodies. You understand? So 7 notes playing at the same time is the ultimate symphony of life. You understand? I realize that every single time you look at the piano, I realize there's 7 notes. Understand? You have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You understand? Or as either way, you have 7 notes on the nice beautiful piano. Try to understand to use all 7 notes. You understand? That's it. Guess what? Every single time is just understand that minor scales in music is a sad story. But anything that's a major scale in music is a happy story. You understand? So what's amazing is understand that when you're making music production, you make your nice beautiful music in C major first, and then go and really, really pronounce your nice beautiful music in other keys that you want. Understand? So what's amazing every single day is focus upon making sure that every time you want to do something, you must understand that if you want to create hats or percussion or whatever, you make it the same sound. You do it the same plugin, or you do it everything in terms of life with the same plugins, in terms of you make it all more effective. So what's amazing is when I make my nice beautiful music production every single day, I make my percussions in terms of my kick and my hat, and also my nice beautiful, let's say, any other type of percussions. I realize it's all the same sound in a different way. You understand? So you must understand that a hat is sounding different to a kick. You understand? Although it's in the same mixer channel. And then when I do my sound design with my kick and also my hat and my percussions, it's all going to be in the same mixer channel. You understand? And then when it's in the same mixer channel, or else what happens is I just go and really, really make the sound that I need every single day. So focus upon understanding that when you make your kick sound, or else then you make all your percussion sounds within that plug-in range. I understand that what's amazing about music production is every single time you life coach as well, you can then do music production as well, and then you can be a rapper on the side, and you can be a singer on the side, and then also you can be an actor as well. You understand? So what's amazing is I'm teaching you all areas of life. I'm a life coach, so I teach you everything. You understand? So I try to understand every single day how to do breakdancing and how to do everything and how to get those muscles and how to do everything in my life, because I want to teach myself that. I understand that what's amazing every single day is focus upon understanding that when you create anything in life, you must have the best sound, you must have the best instruments, you must have the best melodies. You must understand that melodies are something that makes your track in terms of your soundtrack. So when you're really, really making a music track, you want to be able to make the whole melody in the track first, and then that is your actual track. You understand? So it starts off with a melody, and then how does it go into a corresponding nice, beautiful composition? So when you look at nice, beautiful Beethoven and Mozart, you understand either way that we're all equal. But what's amazing is they start off their melody and their song with a note. You start off something with a note, and then it escalates into more notes playing at the same time. And that's how it is with music production. So what's amazing is you make the nice beautiful track in terms of your music track first with your nice beautiful melodies, and then once you have a melody that really works, your track then works. Or else then what do you do then? You just make sure you put a kick where you want it, and you put a nice beautiful way of percussion where you want it, but make sure your percussions and kicks are going with the piano roll, and they're also changing throughout time. You must understand your kicks and also your percussion must be changing along with the melody. You understand? Because it's all changing. I realize a kick that goes dun, dun, dun is also a melody. You understand? But make sure you understand that when I create my melodies, I never create my melodies where the kick is. I realize that when I place my nice beautiful hat, I realize this is my nice beautiful hat and kick combo. I realize kick, hat, 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 kick, hat, hat, hat. You understand? I realize now, where's the hat? Because you have to understand that it comes after the kick. You understand? So what's amazing is I leave enough room for the kick to be able to go and hit so that everybody can hear the kick and so everybody can hear it. You understand? So what can I add with the kick? I can add a nice beautiful bass drum or another kick to make sure that everybody can hear a click while the nice beautiful kick is playing, because sometimes you're making the first kick and what happens is you may make a big sub and the kick is pounding in it, and you may be able to hear it on a nice beautiful portable speaker which is loud. You can actually hear the kick, you understand? But when you play it on your phone, you then are unable to really hear that kick because of the click. Understand? So what you do is get yourself a click that can actually help you to grow. So make sure you go and really, let's say, make another kick, and make sure that nice beautiful kick has a click. You understand? And then what you do as a music producer, you get yourself one of these, because I'm a music producer and also a nice beautiful life coach. So I make sure I pump my music and I just go and export a sound. So let's say I juice up my sound and I have the nice beautiful intro. I just I export that nice beautiful part of the nice beautiful FL Studio range or my soundtrack. I upload it online and I download it into my MP3 player, and then I play it through my portable speaker to hear it out. You understand? Because what's amazing is I do everything with my headphones and I do everything also with my earphones, you understand? But my eye is everything that is, you understand? My eye is something much more important than everything else. So what's important is understanding that when you're making music production and when you're making anything in terms of life, you must understand to test it out first. You must be able to understand that information is something that helps you to give you ideas upon how to live life and how to do life every single day. So what's important is understanding that when you're making a music track, you must be able to use the use the velocity and use the volumes. So when your nice beautiful hats are hitting, so it's never just one sound, but use the nice beautiful velocity. You understand? So go and really pull down the volume here, or else boost the volume here, or leave it just as it is, and just volume modulation. You understand? Because when the hat's hitting, you want it to be hitting unequally. You understand? Because that's how you balance the track equally. Or else that what's amazing every single day is focus upon understanding that your sound in terms of music must be very clear. You must have a clear sound. You must understand every single day that whatever genre you're producing, you must understand to make that kind of genre. You understand? I mean, make that kind of BPM for yourself. I mean, always understand that before you make the music track, you set it to the BPM that you need. And then what happens is you start going into the piano roll first and make your whole melody. I mean, make a 10-minute melody. Because maybe your track's going for 10 minutes. I mean, understand? So it may go dun 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 dun, and then guess what? I realize that's the intro. And then what are you going to have in the intro? I realize, although just make the melody first, and then what is coming after that? Or else then it may go dun 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 dun. Or else now either way we have an extra tone. You understand? So that tone comes, just comes above. You understand? So either way that tone keeps on playing, and then what happens is. You then go dun 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 dun. Or else either way, now we're progressing with the melody. So how do you really, let's say, progress from that point on? And then you can slow down the nice, beautiful, let's say, melody. And then what you do is go into the chords. And then let's say just a nice, beautiful atmosphere. And then you can put a nice, beautiful pad, which is just one note, to go into the chord. You understand? And what happens is you just slice up the nice, beautiful pad. You understand? And then it goes. Dun, 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 dun. You understand? So either way, or else that's a chord, for example. Or else either way, what's amazing is then it goes into a nice beautiful pad, and that's where you sing. And then what happens after that point with the nice beautiful composition of your life? You must understand either way, then you can put one note, or you can put 3 notes or 5 notes or 7 notes to make sure that you can build it up into a nice beautiful, let's say, drop. So drop it with a nice beautiful melody that goes da 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 da. You understand? So either way, that is your melody. So you're actually using a note, just one note that is going into the nice beautiful high range of your drop. Or else then, what do you do that? Or else from that point, or else you have to create another melody. You have to create another melody that's going to go with your intro, and that's going to go with your song. So just create some new melody that you've never done before, and then just make sure that it has a pattern. You understand? So what you do is, let's say we have 8 blocks, or else we have 8 cubicles. Or else that what we're going to do is we're going to use the first 2 cubicles and we're going to put it there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make another 2 cubicles on top of that. Or else now we have 4 cubicles. You understand? Although we're going to copy and paste the 4 cubicles of those melodies and we're going to post it in the next one. And then what we do is we add another 2 cubicles to the top of the melody. Or else now we have 8 cubicles. But then what we do to extend the track, or else we get the 8 cubicles that has 2 at the top as well. You must understand, then we go and copy and paste that, and or else we put extra 2 cubicles on top of that in terms of higher notes to make a bigger melody. You understand? So when you're making $1 billion, or else when you're making $1 billion or anything in life, you must make a bigger melody with higher notes. You understand? So every single day, understand the higher notes you have in your music, the better. Or else the higher notes, the higher consciousness. You understand? So every single day, understand that what's important is once that is all done, you must understand that you can always see your whole track with a nice, beautiful melody. You can see exactly what's going on with the track inside of your track with the melody that you produce. So just be careful upon what you're doing every single day. I mean, just make sure every single day you never trip over or something like that, where you can understand that what's important every single day is focus upon understanding every single day that you go and really take care of yourself. You must understand that when you're really, really doing something that's really achieving a greater lifestyle for yourself, you're always practicing something that you love to do, and you're just making sure every single day that you can be the best version of yourself. I'm pretty sure that's all I do every single day. But now I can finally in terms of my life, I can finally make psytrance music. I can finally make trance music. I can finally do the melodies. You understand? I can finally make melodies like Mozart. You understand? I mean, like Beethoven. I can make melodies. You understand? So I do it electronically. And I never do it for piano. You understand? So what's amazing is when you listen to my tracks, you must understand that now from 2021, you must listen to my 2021 album. Or else either way, I understand that 2020 album is something different, and also my 2016 album, but I had a 4-year break, you understand? But what's amazing is I do life coaching between that 4-year break, and that's why I'm here. But what's amazing is I came back to music production so that I can move forward in that. Or else, so that I can move forward in it, and so that I can grow to this point. Or else, what's amazing is I never waste my time. So because I did invest 1 year and 6 months of my lifestyle in music production before, and then I took a 4-year break, I mean, guess what? Or else that's 1 year and 6 months of my life were lost, you understand? But guess what? I recovered that time because I went back to music production, you understand? Or else now, I'm 1 year and 6 months plus because I'm still doing it now. You understand? So either way, I realize that it's been just around 2 years now that I've been producing music production, but understand what's important is understanding the software. So when you understand the software of anything in terms of technology, you have to be able to write down everything. I mean, teach yourself what everything is in a notepad or a nice beautiful journal in terms of your phone and keypad, and just start writing that this knob in terms of this plugin does this equation, and start writing it out for yourself. You understand? Because when you write everything out that the software does, you write it out physically. You understand? I mean, guess what? Or else if you want to learn the whole description of a nice, beautiful portable speaker, or else to remember it, you have to write it down. You have to teach yourself. So what you do is you say, I realize I'll start typing here, or else this nice, beautiful portable speaker has a nice, beautiful sound of 160 watts, or else I have to write it down. So, and then what else do I have to remember from this portable speaker? I may go and read it. I may go and read the description. Or else now, either way, I may test it out, for example. I may press the bass boost, I may press this, or else I press the bass boost, or else the bass boost here boosts my sound by this much, and also it does also give me a nice, beautiful experience, for example. And then what you do is the Bluetooth function. Or else now, what's a Bluetooth function? I mean, let me teach myself what a Bluetooth function is. Or else now, you guys have to understand that a Bluetooth function is something that connects your phone to another phone. You understand? So either way, I taught myself that right now. Or else now, what is the play button? Or else let me teach myself the play button. Or else guys, you must understand that the play button is something that helps you to play your music. Or else now, what is the power off button? Or else now, the power off button, or else what is that? I don't know. Or else now, let me teach you that. In a sense, so the power off button on the portable speaker is something that helps you to go and do what you love to do in terms of life, where you can go and switch off your audio so that you can go into the shower, or so you can go and swim, and also so that you can go and sleep, for example, because when you go and power off something, you're also understanding that you turn off the audio. So when you turn off the audio, you have to power it off, and when you power it off, you then understand how to go sleep. You can go to walk, you can go to walk somewhere, you can go to have a food and drink somewhere, you can go with your friends somewhere, because now you're going to use that power off button to also start off your nice, beautiful portable speaker to listen to audio again, because it's the power off button, and or else it's also a power on button, you understand? So when you have a power on and off button, you're just making sure every single day that you can go and listen to your nice, beautiful music whenever you like, but you power it on and power it off. You understand? Or else I taught you now what a power off button is, because it's also a power on button. You understand? Or else either way, I'm much more knowledgeable now because I taught you, aren't I? You understand? You understand? Because what do I do now? Or else I have a whole FL studio with all this tweaking. I have all these synths. I have everything I have to achieve in terms of this nice, beautiful plugin. Or else that it's a technology, and I have to understand it. So how do I understand it? I have to teach you. Literally, I have to actually teach you, and I actually write exactly like this. Or else exactly like I'm teaching you now in terms of life is how I teach you about any software in the world, because when I do that, I also teach myself. Or else if I say, do you understand? Or else if you ask me the question of, do I understand how Jesus lives life? And I say no, or else if I say no, or else then I'll say, I'll go and find out for you. Alright, so when I go and find out for you, I come back to give you the information and I say, this is what I found out about Jesus. And Jesus goes and lives with the disciples by making sure that he leads them. And then once he leads them, he goes and makes sure that everybody else has much more leadership quality. Because guess what? I realize now I'm teaching you, and that's how I give you the information. You understand? About what is Jesus. You understand? So what did I do there? I seek out the information, and then I come teach you. You understand? But you have to be able to answer people's questions when they ask you. You understand? So if you don't know the answer, you say, I'll find out for you. You understand? Or is that what's amazing every single day is when you're focusing upon learning technology, you have to write it out. In terms of you have to teach yourself everything about every single knob. So this knob goes by certain frequencies, and you have to cut off those frequencies to be able to get this sound. You have to teach that. Whereas when you go into the nice beautiful distortion, I mean, just make sure you understand that distortion is more hardstyle music. You understand? Or as either way, that's just one idea. Or as either way, you must be able to teach yourself the whole technology. You must be able to teach yourself about life and finance as well. You must be able to teach yourself everything. So I am something of a music producer because I teach you how to do music. I'm a life coach because I teach you about life. Or else that you can never ever be a life coach if you never teach people. You understand? You must be able to teach something. So if you are driving skateboards, I mean, teach people how to do skateboards, and then you can be a skateboard instructor or a teacher about skateboards. You understand? Or is that whatever you're doing in life, you must be able to teach people what you do, because that's how you become much more professional in what you're doing. Or else Tony Hawks is somebody very, let's say, popular around skateboarding, but guess what? Or else he's a teacher about that, you understand? Because he teaches people how he does it, you understand? Or else either way, every single day you're teaching something. Or else you're teaching how you dress, you're teaching your persona, you're teaching how you do your hair, you're teaching how your Instagram is today, you're teaching also people how your YouTube is, you're teaching people how your life is overall. You understand? Or else you're teaching people whether or not you're in jail or not. You understand? So either way, you must understand that whatever you are today, you must be able to learn and grow fast. But what's amazing now is that I can create melodies, and then what I do with those melodies is I make a nice beautiful composition of my melody first. I make sure my kick melody is in my piano roll where all my melodies are. And then I say, this is exactly how I want my kick in a pattern to be throughout the whole track. And then what do? I select the whole pattern and I put it into my DAW in terms of the layout, and I just make sure I boost the sound on it, and I make sure I take away the kick here, I take away the kick here, but the kicks are going to be like that, and it's going to have that pattern throughout the whole track, because my melody here is a drop, so I need a kick here, I need a kick in the intro, I need a kick in the outro, but everything else is break line or breakdown where I sing. You understand? So either way, or as a percussion, can be in the drop, or else it can be in my second drop, but in my third drop, I can take it away because I have a nice, beautiful over-the-top melody over here where I want people to focus on that instead. You understand? But guess what? Or else you can just imagine two long lines, for example. But let's cut off this line over here and take it away. But let's just put the kick over here and let's take away the hats. And then the hat's coming in where the kick is going to play first, and then the hat's going to come in because there's a certain melody that I want to recognize with the hat. You understand? So either way, how do I see that? I mean, how do I see when to place the hats and when to place the kick and when to place the vocal? I mean, I see everything by the melody that I make. I make the melody first. I make the intro melody. So my intro melody can be a nice beautiful sidetrance module, and it can go da 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 da, and then it can go dun 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 dun, and then guess what? I realize either way, I add another high note to that, and then it sounds something like dun 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 dun. You understand? So there's a higher note for that, and then either way, I have another higher note and another higher note. You understand? So I make 7 notes so that you can hear 7 notes. So every single time 16 beats does the trick, you must understand the next 16 beats, I add 1 more note to the equation. And then what happens in the next 16 beats is understand that nice beautiful melody will play out, and then in the next 16 beats, I add another note to that. So then it's always building up into a arpeggiator, you understand? But what I do with my melodies is, you realize this, that every first beat, I never put a melody there, because that's where the kick is. I make the nice beautiful melody of my life where it's the second half of where the kick is not. I realize although that in a nice beautiful beat, you have you have 4 beats before the next kick. I make sure that you understand that in the first beat, I realize that's where the kick is, but then I can put another 3 nice beautiful tones just before the other kick. You understand? Because understand, you can go my kick and then tone, 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 and then kick and then tone, tone, tone. Or that's side trains today. Although you can go kick, tone, tone, kick, tone, tone. You understand? Or you can go kick, tone, kick, tone, kick, tone. You understand? Although that's just one pattern. You understand? But what's amazing is understand that I go up notes. I just go the notes way of, let's say, of interest, where I teach you how to do notes in life. So what I do is instead of just doing like that, I may start off with the first pattern like that, but then what I do is I add a note to the top. So for example, let's say my nice beautiful tone is kick, tone, tone, tone. Alright, now either way, you must understand that one pattern in terms of one sequence of patterns. You must understand that what's amazing is you can go tone, dun, dun, dun. You understand? And then kick. You understand? So what happened in between that? Or is that one tone is the same as a kick tone? And then, or is that one tone is just one tone? But then the other tone is maybe 12 octaves higher than the previous tone. And then my nice beautiful third tone is the same tone as the one that started off. I realize that what's amazing every single day is understand that you can go and realize that, let's say my first tone is level 1, but my second tone is level 2, and then my third tone is level 1. You understand? Whereas now it's really just like that. Although my kick is kicking and then 3 tones. I realize although there's a big difference between level 1 tone and level 2 tone and level 3 tone, but then there's a big difference between, let's say, doing kick, level 1 tone, and level 1 tone. Whereas now the level 2 tone is higher, isn't it? You understand? So either way, I may start off my nice beautiful equation of tones with kick, tone, 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 which is all level 1. But then my second half goes kick, tone, tone, tone with level 1 and level 2 and level 1. And then in my third equation, it may be kick, level 1 and level 3 and level 1. You understand? So the previous one was level 1 and level 2 and level 1. You understand? So either way, that's a nice beautiful corresponding melody that's progressive. You understand? I mean, I do that 7 times. I add 7 notes. You understand? So if I have 5 notes in my nice beautiful bass line, I make sure that I maybe pick, let's say, for example, I do 16 beats with that. And for 16 beats, you just hear that. And then in the second 16 beats, and in terms of sex, I realize that what's amazing about sex is music. I realize every single day is understand, is just realize that in the 16 beats that I do, you must understand, I go and add another 5 equations, and what I do is I make sure to go and understand that 5 equations is 5 notes. So what I do is I just make sure I focus upon doing my life, and when I do my life, I go and raise 1 tone. So now, 5 notes are going to be in the same line, but the other 5, in terms of the nice beautiful second half of my nice beautiful mix, is going to have 5 notes, but one of them is going to be higher than the other 4. Understand? And then what happens is I change over, and then I make 5 notes again, which are the same patterns, and in the same spot, I just raise the tone in the same spot, just higher though. And then what happens is, in the second half, or in the next part, I make sure it's 5 notes again, but the same pattern, I'm in the same line of pattern, but then it's going to go, and I'll just add 1 more note higher. So what's happening here is my first melody is just 1 note, which is just 1 pattern, but then the second half of my second segment is just 1 note higher, and then the other ones are 2 notes higher, and then the other one's 3 notes higher, and then 4 notes, and 5 notes, and 7 notes. You understand? Alright, although that's how you progressively do trance music or any type of nice beautiful bassline music where it's an arpeggiator. You understand? So what's amazing is understand every single day that if you're a music producer today, you understand what I said. But what's amazing is that's how it progresses. You make sure your notes in terms of life is going higher. So when you hear a 7-note symphony, you have to understand that it's a symphony because it's 7 notes. You eventually have to use 7 notes of the scale. You use the first note, and then you add the second note to it, eventually. And then you add the third note to it. And then you add the 4th note, and then the 5th note, and then the 6th note, and then the 7th note. Whereas at the 7th note, you finish the track. You understand? Whereas although, the work you can do from that point is when you reach 7 notes, you can drop it back down to 6 notes, and then 5 notes, and then 4 notes, and then 3 notes. But make sure you understand that you never skip a note. You understand? I mean, never ever go from 1 note to 7 notes. You understand? I mean, you must go from 1 note to 2 notes, and from 2 notes to 3 notes, and from 3 notes to 4 notes. I mean, never go from 3 notes to 5 notes, because you skipped a step. You understand? You must understand to never skip a step. So understand to go on a nice, beautiful life cycle here. You must understand that when there's 50 million steps down there, you never jump from 1 step all the way down to 50 million straight away. You do 1 step at a time. You understand? You do 1 step at a time to go to 50 million. You understand? Because otherwise you're free falling. You understand? Whereas although you must understand that you're still free falling even if you're doing 1 step at a time. You understand? Whereas although there's a big difference. You understand? Whereas that if you want to get from the airplane in a parachute down to the floor, you must wear a parachute. You understand? You must wear a parachute because that's 1 step. Because if you skip that part, you free fall. You free fall into the ground. You understand? You just fall and you die. You understand? So realize that anything that really, really is starting off slow must be 1 note. Anything that's finishing off fast is 7 notes. You understand? Because 7 notes is exhilarating. Otherwise, when there's 7 notes playing at the same time, otherwise it causes euphoria. You understand? So what's amazing is when you're doing chords, for example, you can do 7-note chords as well. You can, but what's amazing is understand every single day that if you do a 7th-note chord, otherwise it's just 7 notes at one time. You understand? You have to understand that although you can go dun 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 dun, or else it can be just 7 notes like that. But 7th note chord is just 7 notes at once. I mean, you can only do that once. You understand? But then you have to go 6 notes again, and then 4 notes, and then 5 notes. You have to understand although that my melodies go from 1 note to 7 notes, and it can be anything in between. So sometimes I start my nice beautiful melodies with 3 notes, into 2 notes, into 1 note, into 5 notes. For example, although understand that what's amazing is that's never the way. Alright, what's amazing is understand that every time you make a nice beautiful melody, you go 3 notes, into 2 notes, into 1 note, into 2 notes again. You understand? Because it makes sense like this, although understand that there's no rules in music. You understand? Or else there's no rules in music, you can go 3 notes as well. You have to understand that what's amazing is understand every single day that if it goes with the music and you go from nice beautiful melodies, you must understand that I start off my nice beautiful music with just 3 notes straight away. Understand? So what's amazing is if I go from 1 note and then you hear 3 notes in the next one, you can. You totally can. But understand that the equation of life is make sure you never skip a step. Understand? Although understand every single day that when I go 3 notes into 2 notes, and then I go 3 notes again, and then I go 4 notes, and then 3 notes, and then you have to understand that if you just go 1 note from that point, you have to understand either way that's a big drop in your melody. You understand? So make sure that you never ever go skipping a step in your melody and try to actually go 3 notes to 2 notes to 1 note to just 2 notes. You understand? And then you can go 3 notes. You understand? So what's amazing is if you're skipping 1 step, or else also you can. You can do anything you want. So every single day is just go and test it out. So what sounds amazing to you in terms of a melody is how you do it. But make sure you understand every single day that when you make a melody, I mean any kind of melody that it is, or else any type of melody that you can make in terms of life is a melody still. You understand? So in music, there is no, let's say, correct way to make music. You understand? Or else there's just a better way. You must understand that the better way is just go with what works for you. You understand? Or else that if you just want a 1-note track where you can just go dun 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 dun, I mean all the way through. I mean, guess what? I mean that's your track and that's what you want, and then just put some vocals on it, and that's it. You understand? I mean, put live instrument in it. You understand? I mean, go and play a guitar over that as well. You understand? I mean, guess what? I realize you can experiment. You understand? So that's the amazing aspect of life, where you understand that when you're teaching people melodies and what not to do and what to do in life, you must understand to be teaching everything. You must understand now, since I can go and make my nice beautiful music production, I must understand now, I go and really place a nice beautiful snare in my nice beautiful kick as well. Or as when I place a snare in my kick, I make sure you understand that my nice beautiful kick is also going to be louder, but then what I do is I reverse the snare. I reverse the snare in my kick, you understand? Because what happens here is understand that my nice beautiful kick may go tss, tss. I mean, it just may slice a bit, you understand? Because when a kick hits, or else that you may hear the snare slicing the kick, you understand? So that's just a nice beautiful special effect where you can add nice beautiful slices like that to all your percussions. Understand? So make sure you're using velocity in percussions, and just understand that when you're using percussions, you use all the sounds in one plugin that you use all the plugins with, percussions, in one mixer. And make it all be that sound. I mean, just make it be that sound because it's much more effective for you. Because what's amazing is if you're changing every sound as well in your music, you can do it. Or else it's just a personal preference where I use the kick in terms of the same sound that I made the kick with is what my other or else it's what my other sounds are with. Because it's all equal. Or else when you make a sound or a melody, it's just as equal as the next one. You understand? Or else if you go and always searching for these hats and for the perfect sound, you must understand that eventually you understand that your sound is much more equal as I am. You understand? Or else everything's equal. So understand to just go and put it all together into one sound so that you can just move on with the track. Understand? Because if you're always looking for the sound, I mean, when are you going to start doing the track? You understand? I mean, come on. I mean, pick a sound and let's do it. You understand? So every single day, I focus on making sure I work faster. So when I work faster, or else now, you must understand that there are no, or else there's no rules. I mean, there's no rules in music, but the more melodies you have in your music, the better music. You understand? Or else if you have one note only in your music and I have 7 notes, I mean, of course, my music is much better than yours. I mean, you understand? I mean, there's no rules. I mean, maybe there is a specific sound that you want to hear with 1 note. I mean, go for it. But if you're trying to win something big, you go 7 notes. You understand? I mean, guess what? Or else 7-note equations and 7-note symphonies in your track right now is the best way. Or else, when you're learning anything about software or FL Studio or anything in terms of your plugin or life, you must be able to teach all of it. You must be able to teach live sequences and how to produce music every single time. But make sure you understand how I started off my Nice Beautiful Music production. You need to understand that it's something where I was never using much of the piano roll. You understand? I was using up to 4-note melodies in terms of 16 beats and up to, let's say, 32 beats at most. You understand? But now, I mean, 32 beats goes in 10 seconds in an actual track. Or else 32 beats, or is that, I mean, depending on the Nice Beautiful BPM, you understand that it goes really quickly. Or else that one track that's 6 minutes has around, let's say, 300 beats. You understand? Or else that 32 beats is just, you understand? I mean, it's 30% of the track. I mean, you understand? I mean, not even. Or else what's amazing is that's around 15% of the track. You understand? So what I do is in 300 beats or however long my music is however long my melody is. You understand? So when I choose to make a 3-minute track, I choose to make a 3-minute melody, and that's it. You understand? So when I make a melody, I focus upon making sure that I can make classical music with that melody as well. So what you do is go and really export the MIDI file of your Nice Beautiful music in a piano roll. So you understand that you have a piano version of that Nice Beautiful symphony, so that other people can play along with that. So what happens is when you get a guitar and you get a violinist and you get a drum, or as the drum will do the drum part in your actual song and they'll copy your song in the drum. And also understand either way that what's amazing is other people who are doing a classical music parade, or else everybody's playing their own instruments. I mean, the violin doesn't play the guitar. I mean, the guitar doesn't play the bass line in terms of the bass guitar. You understand? Because the guitar solo is something different than the bass guitar, you understand? Whereas now, although you can do a bass guitar solo as well. You must understand the drum is different from the harmonica. So understand they're playing both differently in your Nice Beautiful music, you understand? So either way, you must understand that in your Nice Beautiful music, you have 7 notes, you have 7 instruments that can play your Nice Beautiful music. But then guess what? You get 7 instruments, you get 100 people to play the violin, which is 1 instrument in your track. And then guess what? Or else they'll just say, dun, 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 dun. I mean, that's all they're playing in the symphony, you understand? But then guess what? Or else that somebody else will play the toms. Or else that certain times of the track, they'll go, do, 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 do. Or, I mean, what happens is, guess what? Or else that 10 of them will do that in your Nice Beautiful symphony, and then you have 110 people playing that. I mean, or else that it sounds something like this. You understand? So either way, or else that it's a melody, but guess what? Or else that's just live, isn't it? Or else that's a classical. Or else a classical music is live music. You understand? Or else either way, you can also make classical music on audio today in terms of Pro Logic and all these Nice Beautiful softwares. So what's amazing is understand every single day that when you're focusing upon making classical music, you do 7-note You do 7 notes, and then you orchestrate which nice, beautiful instrument wants to play which one. I mean, what can they play out of this? You understand? I realize it's very easy to play 5 notes. You understand? I mean, guess what? I realize that what's amazing is in every single nice, beautiful piano roll up to 4 kicks. Or else you can put as many notes as you want. But realize that the nice, beautiful average of notes that you can place also is around 5 notes. I mean, so just realize that they can play up to 5 notes really quickly. You understand? Or else now, if you put 1 billion notes in 4 kicks, I mean, how are you supposed to, I mean, how do you really play 1 billion notes in the space of 1 second? You understand? Or else, although you understand that long term, everything is right now. So when you're really understanding life, you understand every single day to do the best you can. So when you do the best you can every single day, you focus on something that you love to do. So when you love to do something that you are really passionate about every single day, you'll focus upon making sure they understand how to understand how many notes will go before every kick. You understand? Or is that now, I just recently made a track. Or is now just a bass line in terms of my nice beautiful chord progression or my bass line. I mean it's just a bass line, but it's a nice beautiful or else it's, you understand? Or else either way, you must understand it just really hits me because it's a synth sound I'm talking about. You understand? Or else either way, it just rips you. You understand? So every single day, I focus upon understanding that it's just 5 notes. So somebody that's just on the harmonica can just go dun, 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 dun. You understand? So either way, I realize that's just what it is. But then somebody else will come and play the violin. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, over the top of that. And then somebody else will play the harmonica or melody that goes dun, 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 dun. I mean, just over the top. You understand? So that's 3 notes. Or then somebody will play the dun, dun, and dun, dun. Or that's 4 notes. You understand? So what happens then is somebody else will play the flute over the top of that and will go do, 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 do. You understand? So either way, you must understand that's 4, I mean that's 5 notes, you understand? And then you add another 2 instruments over the top, you understand? So you just make sure 7 instruments are playing in your nice beautiful music, which is 7 notes of your music. And that's 7th note symphonies, you understand? So any type of nice beautiful melody that you want, you just have to understand that it's 7 instruments. You understand? I mean 7 instruments means 7 patterns in your music. I mean 7 different patterns playing at different intervals is counterintuitive to how your melody is. So when you start off with dun 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 dun, I mean guess what? That's just one melody. But then you have to make a counterintuitive melody to that. You can never make the same melody twice. You understand? You have to go making the first melody, which is let's say dun 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 dun, and then the nice beautiful second melody that's counterintuitive to that is dun 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 dun. You understand? So either way, that's going over the top. But it's going to, it's going to vibe together at the same intervals. So what are the intervals of life? You must understand that when I kick like this, I kick dun 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 dun. Or else each kick is an interval. You understand? I mean, it's in between the lines. You must understand that when the kick hits, or else the melody is nowhere where the kick is. You understand? Or else that when I go bow bow bow, or else there's no melody in that except for the kick. I mean, you must understand that when I make melodies, I make it offbeat in terms of the melody, in terms of the actual melody, that's never the kick. Or is that when you go, for example, you see Sons and Brothers, or as they play dum bum 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 bum, or else they're more donk like that, you understand? Or else that's donk version of, let's say, kick note, kick note, kick note. You understand? Because that's how it is. I mean, that's how it is with 7 note melodies as well. Or else now, when you're making 7 note melodies every single day, you're focusing on kick, note, kick, note, kick, note. But sometimes you can place kick, note, note, note as well. You can place 3 notes before every kick. You understand? So what's amazing every single day is focusing upon making sure they understand that when you can place 3 notes upon every kick, you can also place a quarter note and you can place a semi quarter notes. You understand? Or else that 3 notes make up, let's say, something that comes after the kick every time. You understand? So every single day, you must understand that you must break up your nice beautiful melodies in the way that you love to do your life. So when you're doing your life much better, you're focusing upon making sure every single day that you have a better equation, because that's something that helps your life to succeed. But understand now that when I make my nice beautiful melodies, I make sure I go and make the whole melody of the track, and I see it. I see my nice beautiful intro will start, you understand? But then it's going to go into a nice beautiful symphony of 7 notes, I mean, eventually, because I'll be adding to the notes I'll be adding to the notes equations. So what's amazing is every single day, understand that each and every single time that kick comes, you must understand that you can change up the kick as well. Or else it doesn't just have to be dun, dun, dun. I mean, it can be dun, 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 dun. You understand? So that's just my second part of the equation. You understand? Although, and then you change up the pattern of the kick as well. Every single 16 beats is a different kick module. I mean, understand every single day that when you're focusing upon something that you love to do, you're focusing upon making sure that you also juice up your sounds. And then you have to understand that if you want a genre like trance music or hardstyle music, I mean, make that kind of genre. So put distortion music much more in your mix when it's a hardstyle sound. You understand? So when it's a trance music sound, I mean, focus upon understanding that you go and really, really make it sound clean. I mean, make it sound clean. So when you're listening to the kick, that it's never distortion. I mean, never put distortion in trance music, but put distortion to the point of clean music only. Understand? You can put distortion in all your music, except live instrumentals. So when you're making live instrumental music, or what's amazing about live instrumental music is you make one melody, and then you make other people play that one melody. Understand? So when you make other people play that one melody, what happens is you get the bass guitar as well. And then you say, hey, I need you to make a melody to this melody. Whereas now the saxophone may go dun, 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 dun. You understand? So that's just one of my melodies that I wrote in live instrumentals with, in terms of my life, in terms of with what I have. So understand every single day that you understand that what's important here is understand then I get the bass guitar, and then the bass guitar on top of that plays dun 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 boom dun 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 dun. Understand? So that's playing over the saxophone. But guess what I done? I just made one melody in terms of life, in terms of my nice beautiful, let's say, door. I just make one melody, and it's, let's say, 16 and 16 and 16. I made a nice beautiful 3-chord progression. Understand? Which is, it starts off with one chord progression, or it starts off with one chord progression and goes into another and into another. And then I send it off to somebody with a piano, and I say, hey, you play a saxophone to that melody. Or as they start playing dun 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 dun, or else it's an actual live sound. But then they send you the audio piece. You understand? And then what's amazing about that is you then go on Fiverr or these landscaping sites where there are music production people and where there are singers and all that, and give them some money and say, hey, I mean, here's my saxophone melody, and play a bass guitar to it. I mean, just play some melody that you love to do. You understand? So guess what? Or else they'll send you what they love to do with that melody. But then you have now a nice beautiful saxophone and bass line. And now you need some drums. So go to somebody to get some drums. And now the drum is going to play to the music. And then they may go tu tu pow tu tu tu. You understand? So either way, that's going to go to the music. Or now you have 3 instruments, but do you just want 3 instruments, or do you want more? Or now the more instruments you have, the more celebration. So go get yourself a nice beautiful trumpet. Or as now the trumpet, I mean, go and say, I want you to go and create my nice beautiful trumpet sound with the saxophone, but make sure you give me some backup vocals. So, for example, like dun 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 dun. I mean, guess what? I realized that the saxophone also, you get the backup nice beautiful melodies of, let's say, saxophone, and just make sure that they can go dun 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 dun, or make a nice beautiful backup piece to the melody. You understand? Or as now, when the melody is going dun 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 dun, you understand? But then guess what? Or else that the trumpets will go dun 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 in that kind of melody as well. You understand? So what's amazing is understand that can be your chorus. You understand? And then the nice beautiful vocal will come in the middle of that. So when you check out my nice beautiful Leo bar sound, in terms of my Leo bar track with myself, I realized I gave the money. I gave $1,300 to make that track. You understand? I gave $1,300 so that you can listen to it for free. You understand? But guess what? I learned from that. I learned the wisdom behind that. You still have to learn, but I'm still giving you that knowledge now. So what's amazing is I give you knowledge for free, but I'm still somebody who can make that music now, forever. Or is that what's amazing now is understand that per track, you're looking around $1,300 to make a live sound. In a sense, so with a vocalist. So every single day, it's worth it. You must understand to listen to my sound and you understand what I mean. But what's amazing is then you go and grab yourself a nice beautiful guitar, in terms of a guitar, and the guitar is going to play along that, and then whatever other sounds you want in your music, you can always arrive a better way with your music. But understand that what's amazing about music production is you have to stay into it. You have to be understanding to teach yourself the software. Teach yourself the software by writing it out. Otherwise, if you want to go and really remember all the words of the world, you have to write it out first. You understand? So if you want to remember any vocabulary, you have to be able to put that word into a sentence. You understand? And then you can learn it. But the more you put those words into a sentence, the more you understand those words and how they correlate with different sentences. Or as the more you teach people about a certain module of life in terms of any area of life, and it can be a plugin in terms of FL Studio or Ableton or whatever you're using, or as what you're doing is you're saying FL Studio, this is what you can expect to do with FL Studio, and then you go and teach everything about FL Studio as much as you can, because as soon as you teach it, you understand how to use it. You understand? But if you go into the software and somebody asks you, what does this plugin do? And you never even understand. Why? Because you never taught yourself how. But if you go to somebody and you understand how to really, really do that, you then understand what you do to learn it. You just go up to me and say, Danny, I was just on an FL Studio program and this is what I am learning. Or I ask, well, what are you learning? Or as now you say, FL Studio gives you a nice, beautiful addition to understand that it's for free. That's just the first one. You understand? Although, guess what? Or is this for free? And it has a nice, beautiful setup. And understand either way that you can go in it and make music right now. And it's the best system in the world. But by these people's references, you must understand Martin Garrix uses FL Studio. You must understand Headhunters also uses FL Studio. And now I understand either way that Headhunters may use Ableton as well. I understand, although, that what's amazing every single day is they may be using FL Studio, but I understand Martin Garrix is definitely using FL Studio. I'm using FL Studio, and so is Coma. You must understand that what's amazing is focus upon referencing people who are using it so you can teach people other aspects of life. So teach people everything that you understand in life, and then understand how to go behind it. So when you make a nice, beautiful rap track, you must be able to teach people how do you do that. Or else if you have $1 billion, do you just want to keep it for yourself, or do you want to teach people how to make it? Or else if you have it already, why don't you teach people how to make it? Because that's something that enriches your life. In a sense, so what am I doing here? I'm teaching you about music and how to do it in terms of life, and how to do music and how to really understand it, because that's what enriches my life. I'm a life coach. I teach you about life because that's what enriches my life. I teach you about comedy and how to do comedy. I teach you all aspects of life because that's what enriches my life. You understand? I teach you how to do violence as well. You understand? I teach you everything about life. So understand that when I teach you the best ways and never the worst ways, because I also teach you the worst ways as well. And when I teach you the worst ways, I also understand that when I teach you that, you also understand to never go there. You understand? Or else every single day, you must be focusing on the whole equation of life, but understand that what's important is understanding your melodies. And when you understand your melodies in your nice, beautiful software, which is whatever you're using, you must understand that what's amazing is understand that your software is something that is really, really something that's going to help you. You must understand it's your eye. You must be using your nice, beautiful composition of being able to make a melody first before you even start your nice, beautiful music production. You have to understand that, yes, you can go and make a kick track. It can just be kicks without melodies. Whereas now, if it's without melodies, you must understand you can make kick tracks and percussion tracks, and that's techno. You understand? Those are techno music. Whereas techno music is, for example, my Ala track, where it goes do 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 do. You understand? So either way, or else that's my Ala track. But I add some vocals to that, and then she starts singing to it, or else Truth is singing to it, and then she goes and sings in between the beats. You understand? Guess what? I realize that what's amazing every single day is understand how to go about life. So when you're going about life in a better way, you're focusing upon how you can go and live better and do better and really feel better in all aspects of life. So every single day, focus upon understanding that when you're making melodies, you're making hardstyle music, and you're making trance music, and you're making house music. Whereas now, if you're making just techno music, you just use percussion, like Tiesto. You have to understand Tiesto, in terms of his old album, you understand he was just using the nice, beautiful, actual percussions. You understand? Whereas although I understand that now, just recently I was watching the nice, beautiful ASOT 1000 with nice, beautiful Armin van Buuren. So what's amazing every single day is focusing upon understanding that every single day you do something that is really, really, let's say, a requirement of you. You must understand every single day to grow your heart into everything that you do. I mean, make sure every single day you focus upon something that you love to do, because that's how you really go and emphasize with people. Or else when you emphasize with people, you're actually leading them into a better way, and that's how you really do anything. You must understand every single day that when I focus upon anything now, you must understand that if you're creating a rap track, you can create a rap track with just 4 notes. You understand? Or is that, for example, my nice, beautiful I have subliminary tendencies. Or is that what's amazing about that track is I just use the notes dun 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 dun. I mean, that's it. And then what I'll do in between that, I just go dun 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 dun. You understand? So I just make it bouncy. You understand? So when you make a bouncy rap track, you understand that sometimes you add some percussion in there as well. You can add 1 or 2 percussions and then sing it. You understand? So every single day, understand that you must be able to write your vocals, you must be able to write lyrics, and you must be able to at least rap a track and talk it out. And also, you must be able to sing. You must be able to public speak along with that. You must be able to increase your skills and read something, and you must be able to do it more often. You must be able to do life much more in a better way. So every single day, focus upon your life and what you want to do to succeed. And every single day, understand to get the information, which is every single information in the world. So understand every single day to surround yourself with people who actually love you, and understand to every single day, understand that everybody loves you. I mean, if they're not hurting you physically right now, I promise you it's because they love you. You understand? Or as if they're beating you physically, or as it's because they hate you. In a sense, so realize to never be around people who are hurting themselves, and never be around people who are hurting you physically. I mean, never be around people who are hurting themselves physically. You understand? I had an ex-girlfriend who gets a knife and she starts slicing herself. I never want to be around that because she's dangerous. You understand? And I realize why. I mean, why is she dangerous? Because she's slicing her veins. You understand? I mean, she's slicing her veins. I mean, she'll slice you too. I mean, when she's, let's say, physically hurting herself and bashing herself, I mean, she'll turn around and hit you too. You understand? I mean, be around people who are never physically hurting themselves. You understand? I mean, guess what? I realize that whatever you're doing in life, you must understand to watch out every single day. You must understand to be careful about what you're doing. You understand? So make sure you're always smarter and doing the nice, beautiful knowledge every single day. You're giving knowledge. You understand every single day I focus upon making sure my life is a better equation in problem solving and abilities and skills and information. So when I give information, I go and seek it out. So 12 hours just doing music production. I mean, just start to finish. Although guess what? I'm never finishing off anything. I'm just starting over again, to go again for 12 hours, to learn the software more. You understand? Because I'm passionate about music. I mean, what is it about music that I'm passionate about? I'm passionate about the actual information of the music. I'm passionate about the software of technology that I can use in terms of the nice, beautiful information about it. I mean, when you're with a girlfriend or boyfriend or wife or son or kid, and if you want to achieve goals, it's because you want the information behind it. I realize that whatever you're wearing today is because of the information that you want. You understand? So you are what you attract in your information. I realize you dress a certain way because of the information you have. You understand? I promise you that's it. You want to look a certain way because of your information. Or else you want to travel to Spain because of information they have. You want to find out the information of Spain. You want to go around the world traveling for free because of the information they have. You want to be helping people because of the information. You want to be like Jesus Christ because of the information he has. Or else everything that you want to be is because of the information. Or else everything that you are today is because of the information you have. Or else if you're poor, or else it's because you have poor knowledge. Or else if you're going and being rich every single day and focusing upon being richer, you have richer information. So focus upon understanding how to have richer information daily. You must understand. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I love that. I love the information there. I understand every single day. I focus upon understanding every single day to go and focus upon what I love to do. So what's amazing is every time you shine the nice beautiful Rolex that's 10,000 bucks, I have a heart that's much better than 10,000 bucks. You understand? I have a heart, I have blood vessels, I have God, I have Jesus. I have a public speaking program in the middle of nowhere, but guess what? It's something that teaches, you understand? Because somebody understands that they're trying to talk me down because of this. You understand? So either way, that when you're trying to talk me down because I'm public speaking on my own over here to try to motivate people every single day, and you don't like that, I understand either way that you're just somebody, either way. I understand that what's amazing is just understand that when people talk you down and when they just are just ravishing in terms of negativity on you, in terms of words, I realize the attitude is going down because I can tell by the words. I realize they say get off the stage and get lost and whatever, you understand, because their attitude is poor. You understand? I realize they have a poor attitude, or else they're never trying to inspire you, or else they want you to get lost. You understand? Or else that's what I mean by words. Or else they're saying that by words. But what happens to those people eventually is eventually they can shine a Rolex to the police in jail. You understand? Or else every single day I focus to understand that every single day you must have better communication skills if you want to stay out of prison and if you want to go and be like Jesus Christ. Because Jesus Christ doesn't say, hey, look at my $10,000 Rolex watch. I mean, get off the stage. I mean, guess what? I realize that Jesus Christ doesn't say that because why? You must understand, because Jesus Christ has beautiful communicational skills like I do. You understand? I never tell you to get lost. I mean, if you're here alone, standing in the rain, I find you inspirational. I mean, if you're just in my own place like this, speaking and public speaking, and it's fully raining, and people are just walking by, and they never want to grab your business cards, but I realize it's raining though. And you see a rainbow up there though. You see a rainbow, and you're YouTubing, but it's raining fully. And it's stormy, but people are just walking past you and they don't find you inspiration, or else they don't find you an inspiration because you're public speaking in the rain that's fully raining, or else I find you inspiration. You understand? Because somebody who stands in the rain to public speak while everybody else never finds them an inspiration, you have to understand that it's because they're never inspirations. You understand? Or else every single day focus upon understanding that when you're making anything about life, you must understand how to do it much better. So go and teach yourself everything about life in every single detail, so you understand what small details are, which is the word I. You must understand the word I is something that helps you. So use I love you in every single message that you give. I promise you every single day that when I focus upon life, I focus upon how I feel, I focus upon making sure I self-reflect and making sure that I understand every single information product out there. So when I ask you about your business, I ask about all the nice, beautiful information you have about your story as well. I want to get to understand you totally, because you and your story has a business. You must make yourself your business. You must make your story your business. You must make your experience your business. You understand? So when you're making your story your business, you're focusing upon making sure that every single day you're doing something for nothing. You're making sure every single day you're focusing upon something that really helps you. Or else every single day I focus upon making sure that I go into other aspects of life now. I understand either way I still have another hour of public speaking, but what's amazing every single day is focus upon making sure that every single day you can go and really be the best equation in your life. And then when you do that, you focus upon making sure better communicational skills is the way to go in terms of reading and in terms of communication and in terms of anything that you want. So when you want to achieve greater aspects of life, you understand spirituality is communication only without touching you. Or else anything that's physical world is touching you right now. So Jesus is now a physical world, or else that what's spiritual is Jesus Christ. So the ability to never touch other people and to never be in this world in the first place is the spiritual world. You understand? Or else the spiritual world is the afterworld, or else it's where Jesus Christ is right now. You must understand it's something in eternity, and that's something that you never touch. You understand? I mean, there's nothing to touch there, but there's only something of ghosts, or else it's all ghosts, you understand? So what's amazing is understand that the spiritual world is something that is when you jump off the plane and you just free fall naked. You understand? You're just naked, because when you're naked, you're understanding the truth. You must be exposing yourself in the light much more to understand what nakedness is. You must understand every single day that when you're naked, or is that you must understand anything that's naked is something that's exposing themselves to understand the I. You must understand your I. You must understand how to really go and really grasp the concept of communicational skills, because everything that I've been doing here with you is also spiritual and it's also physical. I understand although that it's only physical because I'm touching the floor, you understand? But everything else is just spiritual because you're actually reading the spiritual information you need right now, and that's the growth information about how I live my life and how I talk and how I dress and how I do my videos. You understand? Or else those are all ideas. I mean, you have to understand that you can see the idea of what kind of portable speaker I have. I mean, that's the spiritual aspect. I mean, spiritual aspects are ideas that you can actually bring to the table. Or is that you must understand that anything that's physical and hurting physicality, you must understand they are the ones that eventually go to prison. You understand? Because why? Or is it because they're falling over and hurting themselves? You have to understand that you never hurt yourself in the first place. Otherwise, you get into trouble. You understand? So that's the whole key, is understand that if you get into a fist fight with somebody, it's because you're going to jail. You understand? So every single day, focus upon understanding to stay away from other people and to do something that never makes you trip over to hit yourself. I mean, do something that's really worth it in a way that's going to help you grow forward, because that's how you really grow. You grow through different ways and communication where you can understand how to go and really understand how to communicate daily. Or else when you communicate daily, you're focusing upon a seminar, you're focusing upon different areas of equations in terms of something that you can solve, or else anything in terms of ideas that you need every single day. You're focusing upon making sure you lift people. You understand? So when you're lifting people every single day, you're just focusing upon making sure you have a YouTube channel. You guys can check me out every single day on YouTube and Instagram at Daniel Milivojevic over here. I have nothing to hide. I understand that what's amazing every single day is I know my word I know the word I love you. I understand every single day is I focus upon making sure I increase that nice beautiful capacity of my I. So that's very important to my life, because that's something that really helps. I realize every single day I focus on understanding to just make sure I'm always doing something for nothing. Although this is a nice beautiful way to understand that I just go and I went to decrease my nice beautiful brightness of my video just so I can see what's going on, because I understand either way you can have a nice beautiful new photo now. I understand, although that's how it is in terms of busking performances, but what's amazing is understanding that when I'm talking here, you guys can clearly hear me. You understand? So I understand that here at Marketplace is not meant, or there's wind, but let's say there's more wind elsewhere. You know, you have to understand that what's amazing is here, I understand every single day I just do my job, which is just growth. I just growth every single day. I make sure every single day I'm growing something, because I'm growing myself every single day to do my nice beautiful work, which is public speaking and leadership and music production and comedy, and whatever your job is my job. Or else whatever your job is information. You must understand that or else whatever your job is, or else is information. I must be careful also to understand that anything that's is must have an I between. You must understand every single day to focus upon making sure that whatever you love to do, you must do it more, because whatever you love to do is information products. You must understand every single day to focus upon growth, and understanding every single day to make sure that you're just doing better, because when you're doing better, you focus upon different areas of equation, and that is how you grow. You grow through making sure that every single day you have something to say, and when you have something to say, you're looking back into your communication, and you're looking for a better way of life. You understand? So look for a better way of life. I mean, just look at yourself and your communication all day long, and then once you're speaking all day long and doing something that you love to do, you'll focus upon making sure you have a better life for yourself, and that's the whole point. Or as the whole point is making sure every single day that you communicate spiritually, because what is spirituality? Or spirituality is something that's never physical world. I mean, guess what? Or else anything that you can never touch in this world is spiritual. So my communication is spiritual. You understand? Or else the images that you see, I mean, this image is spiritual. You can never grab it. You have to understand that silence is spiritual, and so is the air you breathe. You understand? Or else music is spiritual, because that's something that just goes into your ears. You understand? I mean, sound is spiritual. You understand? And sound, and also silence is spiritual. So every single day, understand that anything that you can touch today is the physical world, and that's this world. You understand? But the spiritual world is something in the afterworld as well. You have to understand either way that there is an afterworld, or else there is a better world than this. But understand that no matter what, that we must be communicating more so that we can be much more spiritual. Because the more you communicate your words never hurt anybody, but the more you communicate, the more you grow. You have to understand, because it's spirituality that makes the difference. You must understand every single day, focus upon something that you love to do, and that way you'll always be much more spiritual to understand how to communicate daily, because that's something that really grows everybody, and it's a better attitude. So when you're speaking every single day, focus upon understanding that you're doing something that's very appropriate, but mind your own business every single day so that you can focus upon something that has a greater attitude. Or is that those people who are speaking up more are much more spiritual, and they have better vocabulary. You understand? So anything that has better vocabulary is also Robert Kiyosaki, for example, who also has better finances than most of the world. You have to understand, because he studies the financial game, and then he talks about it and he teaches you the financial game, and that's why he's so financially successful. You understand? So understand that what you teach every single day is what you are, and what you are must be more success. So go and study success and teach success all your life. And that way you'll be successful. I mean, that's it. Or so what's amazing is if you teach success, you teach all areas of success. In a sense, so teach every single equation. In a sense, so when you're teaching something for nothing, you understand that I'm doing this for free, and Jesus Christ does the Bible for free. And then when you do something for free, you'll also understand that every single time you focus upon making sure that you're loving life. Or else people who love life are always much more spiritual and happier. Because why? Or else it's because they're communicating better and better and better, and they're doing better than everybody else. I mean, how are they doing better than everybody else? Or else they're doing better than everybody else because they're disciplining themselves in a different way, and they're prospering and growing themselves in different ways to communicate daily, because that's what is important. You need to be understanding every single day to go and communicate daily, to focus upon something you love to do. Because when you love to do something that's really you, every single day you'll focus upon understanding something of courage. So, or else anything that's courage is communicating regardless of what's happening. I mean, when you're communicating and there's all violence around you and you're just speaking up, you must understand to go somewhere where there's no violence in the first place. I mean, why are you around dangerous places in the first place? I mean, understand that if you have anything in terms of life where you have an issue or something like that, you must be able to solve your issues with information. You must be getting the information to solve your issues. You must understand that if you want to lose weight, to get healthier, you have to find out the information to do so. You have to start reading and reading and reading upon nutrition, and also veganism, and also the different types of cultures and what they eat and why. And then be a researcher and scientist about that, and then every single day write a book on it as well, so that you can educate yourself. Whereas when you write a book, you're writing also an audio book like this, and you're also understanding to teach people in public speaking about it as well. So every single day focus upon being in front of a crowd as well and doing it. I mean, try to stand up in front of a crowd in front of a crowd of 10,000 people and more, because that's personal development, because you're the one on the stage who's developing while they are reading from you. You're the teacher and the students are sitting on the floor listening to you. But what do you do with the students? You actually just make sure you're lifting people. You just make sure you're lifting people, because if you're kicking people down, you have to understand that's because you're physically kicking them down. And if anybody's physical with you, or else it's because they're negative with you, because something you did spiritually. You understand? Or else now, because somebody is very physical with you, because of something you said, or because something happened in terms of how you dress, and whatever it is, you must understand that they may hit you because you said one word. You must understand to get away from those people because they're negative. And they can shoot you too, or else they can shoot you. So what's amazing is stay away from anybody who hits you, because they're violence, and anybody who's violence is physical. You understand? So be around spiritual people who love to give and who love to love you in words, because I understand that what's important is understanding how to love yourself. And when you're loving yourself daily, you focus upon what you're giving. Or else what you give is how you love yourself. Or else it's not what you get, but what you give every single day that makes the difference. You must understand every single day, focus upon making sure that you just have a better courage in you, to understand that what courage is just more communication. You understand how I go back to the word I there, and then I say is. You understand? Because understand that sometimes there's two words that say is and is. You have to put the I in the middle. So when you say, I see what is, I understand because of this. Is. You understand? I understand, although every single day I focus upon making sure I always have a better life. I understand, although just make sure every single day that you're just taking more care of yourself. I mean, when you're doing that daily, you're just always focusing on the crowd. And when you're focusing on the crowd, you're focusing on the information of the crowd. You're focusing on the specific information that people are giving you daily. Or is that every single day for the past however many hours I've been doing this for over, let's say, 150 hours now. You must understand that what's amazing is in that 150 hours, I get all this information about people and how they walk around me and how they talk to me and how they look at me and how they dress around me. I also get to understand something else in terms of how I speak in front of a crowd. So I'm always understanding that type of information. I can keep doing it. And so understand that in the 150 hours that I've been speaking on the street and more, or is that one individual was only physical with me. You must understand. And when I say physical, or else they just went and just hit me in the face. You understand? Or is that out of 4 million people, or is that one individual hit me physically? You understand? So realize that is the kind of negativity in the world, where there's just one individual per 4 million people. And you have to understand either way that every single day that when you focus upon something, I just make sure you understand that those who are physical with you, you must understand there's always a statistic about that. You must understand that I've already been seen by 4 million people, but one has hit me physically. You understand? So that's the difference between positivity and negativity. You must understand, either way, that what's important every single day is focusing on understanding that those who are negative with words upon you, you must understand that they are trying to communicate, but they never see exactly how to communicate better with you. Or else they may swear at you all day long, but that's how they communicate. You must understand, although they never hit you physically, you understand? And because they're just swearing at you, or else that's how they are, you understand? But if they're hitting you physically, or else now you get away from them, you understand? But get away from them anyway, because you don't want people who are dragging you down with words. You want people who are lifting you up with words. You want people such as I today who will lift you up with words only. You understand? Because when somebody is only ever swearing at you, or else you never want to be around those people. I mean, why do you want to be around people who just swear at you all day long? I mean, they're always yakkering, you understand? I mean, never be around people who are just mumbling. I mean, they may mumble in some type of fashion. I mean, why do you want to be around them people? I mean, why do you want to be around those people? I mean, do you understand? So be around people who can actually communicate. You understand? Or is there anybody who can communicate is on YouTube right now and they're really a content creator in terms of a social media influencer who is famous. I mean, understand, to go to them and to speak with them every single day because they can speak in front of a public. You understand? Or as they understand how to communicate. I mean, go to them every single day. I mean, go and find those inspirations daily. I mean, look at Mahatma Gandhi and go and find out how does he communicate India to be independent. I mean, understand? Because India became independent through Mahatma Gandhi. You understand? And then guess what? Or is that when you understand that when you can lead a country into independence, you understand Mahatma Gandhi. Or else either way, you must understand that when you go and really look at Jesus and how Jesus communicates with people, you have to emulate that. You have to emulate Jesus Christ and how Jesus Christ is every single day focusing upon helping people and loving people. And Jesus Christ doesn't go riding skateboards and trying to fall over. You understand? So go and really go and do Jesus Christ every single day and focus upon what does Jesus Christ do with your wife today and what does Jesus Christ do with your husband today. You understand? I mean, what does Jesus Christ do as a police officer today? I mean, what does he do? I mean, come and check it out. I mean, go and check out the information, you understand? Because Jesus Christ doesn't go pulling knives at people, you understand? So realize you're going to do what Jesus Christ does, you understand? Because that's spiritual information and that's something that helps you. I mean, understand every single day, I'm going to do what Jesus Christ does. But I realize this is exactly what Jesus Christ does. I mean, this is what Jesus Christ does. So every single day, focus upon just speaking up more. I mean, find a nice beautiful arena, such as a busking arena around your area, and start just public speaking with a nice beautiful performance every single day. And then focus upon understanding that you got other places. You can go to other places. You can go to the park. You can go somewhere where it's for free to busk. You can go anywhere in life, unless it's breaking the law for some reason. I don't know why, because I'm here just public speaking. I'm just here lifting people. I have no idea why police or somebody may want to, let's say, discontinue this process, because I understand that this is very important for everybody's growth over here. I promise you, this is how you make a public speaker. I promise you, this is how you actually this is how you revolutionize your nice, beautiful behavior in front of people, and this is how you get the practice to public speak. So if the police or anybody in terms of the government takes away your opportunity to busk, in terms of to busk, or else now you must understand to go and practice somewhere else. You understand? Or else either way, you must understand that what's amazing is if somebody takes away your privileges, you must understand their kids' privileges are also taken away. You make a law, or else if you make a law that says, hey, you must never do this, or else that your kids must never do it either. Your kids must never do it as well. You must understand. Or else that you just be careful about the laws that you guys are making. You understand? So what's amazing every single day is focus upon making sure that we're just lifting up people with the laws and never kicking them down. Understand? Because what's amazing is understand that spiritual laws are the only way. You understand? Or else now, what's amazing is understand that, for example, Jesus doesn't get the baton, or else he doesn't get the baton in terms of the baton or something, in terms of that stick, and he doesn't start hitting people, you understand, with it. Or else Jesus doesn't do that. Or else Jesus doesn't get the protection in terms of the armor, in terms of the actual physical armor to go in front of people and protesters and try to hit them. You understand? I promise you, Jesus doesn't do that. I understand that what's amazing is try to be much more spiritual and kind with your life. You understand? Because if you hit other people, you're also hitting yourself. I promise you that what's amazing about life is understand that anybody who takes away your life, you shall be given life. You understand? Because look at Jesus Christ. I understand Jesus Christ came here to give us life in eternity. And then guess what? Or is that Jesus was put on the cross by people and humanity for his services. You understand? So guess what? Or else his life was taken away by people. Or else people don't, or else people never, or else you must understand that what's amazing is understand that people were much or else they were disencouraging him to go and live life. You understand? So they put him on the cross to die. You understand? So realize that Jesus has something better anyway. Or else every single day you have something better as well. You understand? So anybody who's kind shall prevail. I promise you. I promise you every single day you focus upon making sure that you communicate in different ways spiritually, and you shall be somebody in 10 years' time. You understand? I mean, if you communicate like I do every single day, but just much better, you will be somebody in 10 years' time. You'll be somebody in 20 years' time then. You'll be somebody in 30 years' time. I promise you. You'll go around the world traveling. Well, you understand it's because of communication. You understand? Whereas when I communicate this way, I'm helping people. I'm helping people every single day. You understand? I just make a YouTube channel. I make a nice beautiful Instagram. And then guess what? You show up, I help your life. I help your life for generations. I make a big legacy for this. You understand? I make a big legacy coming here to Basking Performance every single day and focusing upon making sure I understand what I do. I understand that when you learn from something, you just learn from never hitting yourself and never falling over. And then understand that way, you understand never to go to prison like that. You understand? Or else what's amazing is if you go around the city today and you start hitting your head across everything, I promise you somebody will put you in prison. You understand? I promise you, because why? Or is that because you're so physical with everything? I mean, you're going and kicking down doors. I mean, you're just out of your mind. You understand? Or is that what's amazing is understand that anybody who's raising their tone, you must stay away from them. Although understand that what's amazing is when they're raising their tone, or is that I mean by physicality, in terms of physical brutality, but if they're screaming at you and they really look angry, I mean if they're going, ah, and they're screaming, you understand? You must understand to just stay away from those people, because either way, you must understand that individual is about to burst and hit somebody physically. You understand? I mean, why would a baby go around screaming? You understand? I mean, like mentally, in terms of everything. I mean, why do you scream at people? I mean, never scream at people. I mean, try to lift people in a calm voice. I mean, be around people who have a calm voice is what I mean. So when somebody is going, and whatever, and swearing, I mean, stay away from them. You understand? So stay away from people who are swearing much more often. You understand? So I realize that every single day you focus upon those people who have a nice, beautiful attitude where they're swearing less and less throughout life, or is that you yourself must also swear less and less to have a cleaner attitude, and then find other better words to go and describe what you want in life. Or is that when you find better words to say and do every single day, you focus upon making sure you understand how to have a better life. Or else every single day I focus upon that. I focus upon making sure that I can just go and live my life and lift it to greatness every single day, because that's what I understand. I understand how to be great daily. I understand what it really, really takes in terms of investment to make sure I'm always much more successful, because when I'm successful, I'm better than yesterday. I'm just better than yesterday. I'm just understanding every single day that my nice beautiful lyrics in terms of my subliminal tendencies says, I just better than yesterday. Adjust your moment of precautional tendencies. You understand? So every single day, you must focus on understanding why I rap as well. Because every single day, I focus upon different areas of equation. I focus on different communicational skills. I focus on leading people. I focus on understanding why I must always do better than what I do every single day. Because every single day, I focus upon something that I love to do. I mean, it's just communicate to you in a better way, and that's it. Whereas when I communicate to you in a better way, it's because of I grow from that. I grow from a better attitude every single day to focus upon how I can lift people. Or else every single day I focus upon lifting people, I understand how I really do life. I understand every single day I do life in a better way, and that's how I really get around. I get around in a better way. You understand? I realize every single day there's always something more to do, but I understand all the time about information and how information is. So when you have power over somebody, I mean, imagine how it is when somebody grabs you and pulls you by your hand to put you in prison. I mean, how does that feel? I mean, it never feels great, does it? I mean, why do people put people in prison today? I mean, why? I mean, Jesus Christ never puts anybody in prison today. I mean, I'm honest, but Jesus Christ never does the alcohol either. I mean, do you understand? So why is life today? You must understand that life is today for one reason, so that you can understand Jesus Christ, and that's it. I mean, you must understand that if you never understand Jesus Christ, I mean, how do you expect to live life? You must understand that you relate your life today with Jesus Christ, and how does Jesus Christ lead your family today? You must understand for the ideas. Get the ideas, and then you understand how to lead life. But it's never fun putting anybody in prison by grabbing you today and putting you in prison. I have to grab you physically to put you in prison. That's never good, is it? Or else that many people are, for example, Nelson Mandela. I understand Nelson Mandela is very innocent, but they grab him and put him in jail for 27 years? Come on. You understand? An innocent man goes to prison for 27 years. You understand? So what's amazing is understand how you need to go and do better. So understand that Jesus' laws today has no enforcement to touch you, even physically. Understand? So that's the only point of view. Or as the police will grab you physically. You understand? Because that's their job. Understand? But that's never Jesus Christ's job. Understand? Or else Jesus Christ's job is never to touch you in the first place. You understand? Or else every single day, focus upon Jesus Christ. Every single day, focus upon understanding how to really lead people. Because it's never fun when people grab your daughter by the hair, you understand? And they, like this, I realize that's never fun, is it? That's not fun. Or is that what's amazing is understand to never do that to anybody. You understand? Or is that if you shall never have it done unto you, you never do it unto other people. You understand? How you treat yourself is how you treat everybody else. So when you treat yourself better, you also treat other people better. You never treat the police or anybody like they are treating you. You treat yourself better to understand how you can treat the police. You understand? You treat yourself better so that you can understand and show yourself how to treat everybody much better. I never treat you based on your reaction of me. I treat you basing it on how I treat myself. You understand? I talk like this because this is how I talk to myself all day long, and never because of you. You understand? I talk like this because I talk like this with myself all day long. You understand? I'm very kind to myself. Or is that when somebody's swearing at me, I don't grab their attitude and start swearing at them back. Or else that's it. Or else that's their attitude. Or else when they're negative at me and they're throwing rocks at me, I never pick up rocks to throw at them. You understand? I just walk away. Understand? I go and do something better. But understanding that what's amazing is if you have power over people, you have communicational power over them. You never have physical power over people. Just because you're doing a job today, it doesn't mean that you can go hit someone across the head. Just because you're a police officer. You understand? Or is that what's amazing is understand that no matter what you are today, you must never hit other people physically. You must understand the law of life. You must understand that every single day, that whatever you are, you just make sure you're communicating better. How does it feel for someone to come and stab you today? It doesn't feel good. Or is that what's amazing is never do it to other people. If you never want your children to get shot, never shoot other people, even if you're a police officer. You understand? Look at George Thomas. Thomas Floyd Johnson, in terms of, what is his name? Thomas in terms of R. I understand Floyd, Floyd in terms of what's his name. I understand every single day, I'm focusing upon something better. You understand? I understand every single day I focus upon George Floyd, for example. I understand George Floyd was shot by the police. You understand? And why? You have to understand why. Guess what? Or else Jesus never shoots him. You understand? 3-on-1, that's never the solution. You understand? That's never the solution. You have to understand that sometimes police go 20-on-1. They chase one individual and it has to be 20 of them. Does it make you feel big that you're 20-on-1? How does it make you feel big? How does it make you feel powerful? It's 20-on-1. You understand? Go mano a mano. Go one-on-one with communication to teach them a better way of life. You understand? Or else that's the only way. But if you're somebody of 20 people jumping on one and kicking them down physically, how does that make you feel bigger? How does it make 20 people feel bigger to kick somebody down physically? That never feels good. I promise you. I promise you, it never feels good to shoot somebody either. It never feels good to shoot somebody physically because Jesus Christ never does that. Understand to do what Jesus Christ does every single day, even though you are a police officer and even though you are what you do every single day. Understand? I speak for everybody. I speak every single equation in the world because I am not here to offend you. I'm here to grow you. I understand every single day I'm here to grow everybody with my ideas, so I'm just here to speak out. I'm here to speak up my equation every single day. I understand although that what's important daily is focusing upon leadership tactics. So when you have leadership quality daily, you're focusing on something that really helps you. You must understand why I'm a public speaker. I can come here daily and I can come here and do my work daily and understand every single day that I can do my work daily, regardless of the laws around me. You understand? I can do my work daily because if you don't allow me to do my work, you can then kill me. You understand? Or else I'm happy to leave this world then. Or else I'm here to do something great, and if you're not happy with that, you can do something about it. You understand? So what's amazing, I understand every single day is I focus upon building my courage. And when I build my courage, I build my skills, I build my empathy. I build the nice, beautiful persona that I have right now. Because you must understand that only 1% of the people in the planet can speak like I can, in terms of much better than yesterday. You must understand, that's just one of the equations. But nobody exactly can speak like Danny Milivojevic. I promise you that you can never have my story. You can have your story. Your story is different. I mean, nobody can ever be you. I can only be myself in I. You understand? I can be you in terms of being I. You understand? You can be I in terms of being you only. You understand? So what's amazing is every single day focusing upon making sure that you can communicate much more than yesterday, and focusing upon doing those nice beautiful YouTube videos daily is what you need to do daily, because that's how you lift people. You lift people through greatness, you lift people through making sure you're public speaking daily in a better way, and you're focusing upon communication daily, because that's what helps you grow. You need to be able to grow yourself. You need to be understanding determination. You need to be able to have motivation in terms of ideas daily, because that's how you grow. You grow through making sure every single day you have persuasion in your life. I mean, be persuading your life to grow. You understand? I realize when you're persuading your life to grow, you focus on different areas of conclusion. You focus on different areas of beginning. You focus on different areas of persuasion and everything that you do every single day, because everything that you do must be growth. And understand either way that I may start off my videos with music production, but guess what? Or as I started off in another segment every single time. I'm always talking about different aspects of life. So guess what? Or else that all the information I spoke in this video is for all areas of life. You understand? Or else every single nice, beautiful idea that I give you will give you an idea in one area of your life. You understand? So when you're speaking ideas only, you're only spiritual. You understand? Or else when you're never around other people, you'll be the best. You understand? I mean, what's amazing is just go around Jesus Christ, but understand that what's amazing is I stay away from people as much as I can. I stay away from them. You understand? Because I understand that most people can be violent as well. You must understand that what's amazing is only minimal people are violent. You understand? I mean, minimal people are violent. And how much is minimal? I mean, minimal is everything. I mean, everybody needs a minimal life in terms of a minimalist. You have to be a minimalist. You have to understand that anything that's minimal is a simple life. You must understand every single day, everything around you is minimal. I mean, understand that when you're doing anything in life, you do it minimally. You understand? I mean, what kind of ideas can you bring to the table? You do it minimally. I mean, guess what? You do it the simple way. You do it the better way. You're doing something every single day to understand that when you communicate so you can succeed, to receive something, to give it again. But you make sure every single day that when you're giving something, you're giving much more than yesterday in terms of words. You must be able to inspire people with words. You must be able to understand every single day that when you really communicate somewhere, you go all ways. You communicate the whole circle of life. You understand? So everything in terms of life is growing when you understand that communication is the power. You understand? Or else communication is power. So when you're communicating more, you have more power. Or else that's the whole point. Or else every single day I focus upon doing my nice beautiful work here, and then I post it on YouTube, and then I understand every single day I'm just here to better my life. But I'm understanding here that I'm much happier than ever before. And why is that? Because I'm communicating. Or else because I'm communicating. Or else I understand every single day that, or else that nice beautiful sentence is something I must do. I understand although that after I speak out a nice beautiful question, I must start with the I. I must start with the I in terms of my life, so I can go and grab that nice beautiful spotlight every single day. Or else that, for example, this nice beautiful gentleman asks, or else he just goes and gives me the nice beautiful compliment about my music, for example. And then I say, I thank you, but then I missed the whole I completely. And then I just went away because I understand then, I just remember to say, I can say it's my music. You understand? Because before I was saying my music. I sounded like a caveman in terms of I understand, although then I went back on that and I said, I can say it's my music. You understand? I said my music without the I. You understand? Because I was trying to rush into communication. So when you're rushing into communication, you must understand to speak the I first. You understand? So sometimes you have to go back on your words to speak the I and then continue forward. You understand? Or else either way, I understand I totally forgot to give him the business card I have. You understand? So I just went away. You understand? Because I realized that anytime I may, let's say, forget to do something, it's because I forgot the word I. I, although, never forget anything. I never forgot the word I. I'm still using the word I. I understand I'm always going back to the I, because that's something of anything that you need. You have to understand, anything that you need is the powerful drug that is you. You understand? Whereas if you want to talk about anything in life, you have to talk about yourself. I mean, you have to understand, if you want to go anywhere, you have to go to yourself. Whereas if you want to travel somewhere, you have to go to yourself. Whereas if you want to make something, you have to go and do it with yourself. Whereas if you want to have anything that's the best, you must have yourself. You understand? I approach every single day, I focus upon making sure I'm always communicating in a different way in terms of what I say in my nice, beautiful communicational skills, because every single day I focus upon better life tactics. I understand it's just communicational skills. I understand that what's amazing is just talk much more, and then you can do what I do. I promise you, that's it. I promise you, if you want to get to my level of communication, you have to speak up more. I promise you, it's very simple. I promise you, it's that simple. I promise you, every single day, some people are dedicated, in terms of some people have dedication to do it, and some people have no dedication. You understand? But although everybody has dedication to do it when they're still living life, you understand? Although I'm just one of them who's just much faster to talk much more than everybody else. You understand? And that's why I grow much more success, much faster, because I talk up much faster than everybody else. Whereas I see many people who are, let's say, confusing themselves around I and how I communicate daily. But what's amazing is understand communicational skills you have to lift. Thank you. You have to lift your communicational skills every single day, but you have to be fast and appropriate with yourself to understand what nice is and what kind is and what is hate and what is questions. You have to ask yourself, what does the dog do every single day? You understand? I mean, ask yourself every single day, every single question in the book, and you understand also to find the answers of your life. I mean, go and search up the information. I mean, seek out the information on your own. Understand? I mean, it's just like riding the bike on wheels. I mean, first you have training wheels, and then guess what? You'll ride the bike eventually without training wheels. You understand? And then guess what? You'll just go alone in life with your own ideas, and you'll be seeking information from everywhere. You understand? So that's the whole point of that's the whole point of seeking information daily and focusing upon something that you love to do. Whereas when you love to do something, you do music production, you do rapping, you do singing, you do anything that you want to do, you go and learn it. You go and learn the instruments. But if you want to learn any kind of instrument right now, you write it out. You teach yourself how. So when you're teaching yourself how to do language and how to learn people's languages, and also how to learn the saxophone or how to play chords or how to do anything in life, you teach it of yourself. You write it out in your journal. You have to say, this note will make a certain type of interval when I play these two notes. You understand? And then either way, you're going to write it all out in a journal, and then you're going to say, this is what you never do with a saxophone, and this is what you never do with FL Studio, and this is what you never do with Edison in terms of the plug-in Edison, and this is what you never do around this individual. You understand? I mean, go and find out what never to do, and then you understand how to teach yourself. I mean, understand that when I come here for a specific reason with a trolley, because anything without a trolley in terms of life, where I have to come here without a trolley, is what I never do. I used to come here without a trolley. I was carrying before 20 kilos to get here. I mean, that's hard physical work. So what do? I went to Kmart, I invest in myself to get my nice beautiful trolley, and then I bring it here and I have a nice beautiful blast. I can always get here without lifting 20 kilos a day. You understand? So it makes a big difference. I mean, 20 kilos here for 20 minutes and 20 kilos back. I mean, in a sense, so guess what? Or else it starts to weigh on you. You understand? You have to carry it all. In a sense, so guess what? Or else either way, I mean, it's just 20 kilos. I mean, it's just 500 kilos, man. I mean, it's just 1,000 kilos, but guess what? I mean, carrying less than 20 kilos on you is much better than carrying more than 20 kilos on you. You understand? I mean, just carry the word I. I mean, just carry your word I, and that's it. I mean, that's all you have to understand, that you just carry the word I love you. I mean, just understand how to say that daily, and you'll understand what life is. I mean, understand why I make it easier for myself to never physically walk so much. I only walk 1 kilometer in radius anywhere. You understand? I never walk 1 kilometer more to the shops. You understand? I walk 1 kilometer radius and nothing more than that. You understand? I walk actually 1 hour radius right now. So I realize anywhere, in terms of anywhere that I can go in life, I walk 1 hour minimum, there and back. I can do that right now. But when I turn 70 years of age, I may drop it down to 20-minute radius only. I only walk around 20 minutes, there and back. Or is that when I realize I never come back, you understand, I just go forwards. You understand? So what's amazing is when other people say, are you coming back? You say, I'm never coming back, but I may see you again. You understand? Or else what's amazing is understand that when you turn 130 years of age, you may be able to set yourself a nice beautiful discipline of saying, I'll walk 10 minutes in radius only. I mean, a 10-minute walk is all the way there and just here, and that's it. I mean, that's more enough walk, you understand? Or else what's amazing is understand that you have to preserve your body over time. You have to understand that if you're always going in the night time, you have to understand why you have to get up early and you have to always rise early. And I mean, that's the only way to understand life. Because if you're always up late and doing everything late, you then are the latecomer of life. Whereas if you come early and you be here early before the event, and you come here early and you show up early and you do everything early, you must understand that when you do it early, you do it now. Whereas now you're a high achiever. But when you're doing it later, or as when you're a latecomer, I mean, when you're always setting it for later, you're jet lagging, you understand? Or as when you go, wake up later, and you do it later. You understand? I mean, never do it later. I mean, never stay out late. I mean, never wake up late. You understand? I mean, be an early riser, and early to wake up, and early to do life. You understand? I mean, never be late about life. You understand? I mean, never do late. I mean, do early. Understand? So anybody that's early to rise and early to do anything that's much better is an individual who's better than that's an individual who's better than those individuals who are early to hate as well. Understand? Or I mean, you have to be early to love people only. You understand? I mean, every single day, understand that early equation. I mean, beat the sunrise, as Grant Cardone says. I mean, before the sun gets up, I mean, try to be here at busking performance before the sunset. You understand? I mean, be early. You understand? Because that's the whole point. Or the whole point is making sure that you really succeed yourself. You lift yourself up every single day. You focus on something that you love to do daily, and focus upon understanding people's communicational skills daily, upon what they're doing in daily life in different moments of equations, and every single day focus upon making sure that you have much more information. So update yourself around the world with people around you, and try to get as many information as you can, so that you understand you get as much as information in terms of as much information as you can, so you can succeed more, because information is something that guides you. I mean, Jesus Christ Bible will guide you if you read Jesus Christ Bible. I promise you, if you never read the Jesus Christ Bible, you will never understand what Jesus Christ is. In a sense, to realize that you just have to be much more open about information. Or else if you open yourself to learning, or else if you open yourself to learning everything about life, you understand why you can actually grow. Or else when you grow in different ways, you grow in different persuasions, you understand how to read, and you understand how to guide yourself through ideas. I mean, just understand that you really, really have to understand that when you really grow yourself, you understand what self-love is. You understand how to love yourself daily. You understand how to look at your information daily and give your ideas. You give your ideas, because the more ideas you give, the better business you have. I promise you. I promise you, when you give 600 hours of ideas on YouTube, you'll be someone famous. I promise you. That what's amazing is go and create a YouTube account and do 600 hours of video about what you love to do. I do 600 hours of this communication and more on my YouTube. And so realize this is what I love to do. Or is that every single day, I love to do music production. So I'll do 600 hours of just being in front of the technology in terms of the laptop, so that I can do music production. You understand? So either way, I love to do social media too. I love to talk to people online. You understand? Or is it other people saying, stay off the technology? I mean, you never stay off the technology, man. You understand? You go and increase your capacity to understand technology. You never stay off technology, because anybody who tells you to stay off something is somebody who's trying to order you in negativity. You never stay on in terms of, you never stay off. You go and stay on in a way that you're really, really communicating, so that everybody can go and get more information, because that's the only way. You understand? So when you're leading yourself in information all day long, you'll focus upon how to have strength in your life. You'll focus upon every single day understanding how to live a long life, because how do you do that? You need the information. You need to find out. I am seeking every single day how to live up to 100 and more in terms of years of age. Or so every single day I focus upon how can I speak better, and how can I do better, and how do I do that? I do it through life experience. I also get here and I start to experience people and how they are around me, and then I start to understand their information product. I start to understand how are they treating me in terms of how they walk and how they dress and how they are as an individual. You understand? So every single day I focus on different areas of persuasion and different communicational techniques to understand how I can actually be stronger upon what I do. Or what I do is everything that's information. I just go get the information, I give it to you for free. I'm going to teach you how to be a billionaire because it's just you. You understand? I mean, I teach you everything to lift you up. You understand? And that's how I want to be. Whereas when I teach you something, or it's because I am like that. You understand? Or if I am lifting you right now, or it's because that's how I am in daily life with myself. I mean, a junkie or somebody who's, let's say, a negative individual who's, let's say, hurting physically people, or that's what they're teaching people. I mean, they're teaching people that's what they'll keep doing. You understand? Or now, either way, you must understand that what's amazing is never be in conflict with people, but if somebody is in conflict with you, or if something is in conflict with you, you must understand it's because they are hurting you physically. Or as there are no problems in life, you just remove the problems and you'll never have a problem in your daily life. I promise you, although, that if you're around people who are conflicting you in negative information, you go around people who are positive, and that's it. Or now, sometimes I understand that somebody may come who's very negative over here and start interviewing me and start talking to me for 1 hour. I mean, they just want to rain on my parade with their negative information. You understand? So what do? I just listen. You understand? I listen because I'm doing something. I understand that when I'm doing something, I look to grow from that information. I look to understand what exactly are they criticizing me about and why are they so offended. I understand, although, that when I understand why they are criticizing me in a negative way, I understand it straight away that they're just negative people. So what do? I can choose to stay away from them. I can choose to understand. I can say, hey, I thank you very much, but I have something better to say over here. I have something better to listen to over here. I can actually do that, but is it a smart decision? I understand either way that what's smart is just go and do you. You have to understand that every single day that if somebody negative comes up to you and starts to rain on your parade, you just say, hey, I'm just busy over here. I'm just doing something on video, but thank you for your words. I mean, I hope that somebody else will listen to it. You understand? You must understand that either way you can say that, because why would you listen to negativity? I mean, if somebody is just putting negativity into you, you say, stop. I have something better to do over here. You can go your way now. I understand I have a video over here to produce. I understand I appreciate you. I love you. But I just have something more to do than what you're saying. You understand? You can always do that. You can always be nicer about your words. You can always be kinder about your physicality. You understand? You can always be kinder to yourself. I understand that just recently I was coming here and I was dragging my nice beautiful trolley. But what happens is that my physical arm is starting to feel pain. You understand? So what do I say? I realize, why do I have to be in pain for? I mean, I just switch off my arm. In terms of, I never switch off my arm. I switch over and I grab the nice beautiful trolley with my other arm instead, so that I never have pain anymore. You understand? Because what is physical pain? You must understand it's suffering. You understand? Or else it's suffering, isn't it? You must understand, if I stab you, you must understand it's pain. You understand? You must understand that's the kind of pain. Or else if you fall and knock your head over, you must understand it's because of what? You must understand it's because of pain. You understand? Or it's because of you. You understand? But understand that every single day that when you have pain, you must understand how to have no pain in life, because spiritual aspects of life never have pain. Or spiritual aspects of life, you never have to do anything physically. You understand? So does Jesus do anything in terms of building muscle and strength? I promise you that all that Jesus does in life is, or as Jesus does the spiritual aspects only. Or as Jesus says, hey, I love you the way you are in terms of your wisdom. I never care about your body and how you look like in terms of physicality. I care about what's inside of you. And what's inside of you is the knowledge. You understand? You have knowledge inside of you right now to understand that when you have knowledge inside of you, you understand why you can grow. You have to understand every single day, everybody is spiritual. But understand that what's amazing about life is spirituality. And why is that? Because spirituality is the muscle. You must understand that's the real lifting. You understand? Or else that's something that makes you powerful. Because yes, I understand either way, you must understand that Jesus Christ, or else does he look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in terms of physique? But why does the woman go for Arnold Schwarzenegger over Jesus Christ? I mean, why? Because she wants the physical aspects of big muscle, man. I mean, why? But look at Jesus Christ. I mean, Jesus Christ will teach me something. You understand? I mean, what's amazing is understand that you never ever go for those people who go for physical aspects of life. You understand? I understand either way. I went to Cairns. I understand this woman goes up to me and she says, muscle. I mean, she needs a muscle man. I mean, she needs 1 centimeter muscle to accept me in life. I'm a public speaker. You understand? So either way, that when I grow definitely my muscle of spirituality over physicality. You understand? Because what's amazing is understand that your body will rot in this world. You understand? Your body is not coming into eternity. Your body is not coming up with Jesus. But your soul, in terms of what you have done in communication, is. Your soul has wisdom right now. You're full of experiences, but you're bringing those experiences up into eternity. You understand? You must understand that when you pass away from this lifetime, you must understand that what happens is Jesus says, hey, you're risen right now. You will just wake up in eternity. I promise you, it's really quick. I promise you that you never have to wait in your funeral home 3 years or 3 days, because I understand the Bible says that 3 days later that Jesus was risen and he shows up in front of people. I although understand that if you pass away, you're straight away, you open your eyes and you're in front of Jesus. Or as soon as you pass away, you're eternity. You never have to be somewhere underground for 3 days. You understand? You don't have to be in the actual grave for 3 days to rise up so that Jesus can come into your grave and get you. I mean, God just does one click and you're in heaven already. You understand? So what's amazing is communication can do anything. You understand? So realize that if you want to walk on water, and if you want to calm down storms, and if you want to heal blind people, or else if you want to, let's say, do anything that Jesus has done, you have to communicate much more. You understand? You can do it all. I can heal blind people right now. I mean, how do I do that? I do it through information. I mean, I can calm down storms. I mean, how do I do that? I do it for information. I give you the information to calm down the storm of your life. You understand? I can walk on water. I mean, how? I have the information to do so. I mean, do you understand? Or is that what's the information? Or is what's the information? You have the information that's very powerful, that's really lifting you to grow, and that's walking on water. You can connect anything together with information. You can do it. I can fly anywhere I want. I can fly. I mean, how? I fly through the communication. I fly anywhere across the world through communication of what I speak. And that's it. I mean, do you understand? I'm already successful. I've already seen the whole world. I mean, how? I said so. I've seen everything that you want to see in life. I've already seen it. Because how? I've said it already. I've already said it. Or as what you speak out becomes. You understand? Or as what you speak out every single day is who you are. You must understand that information, I feel my heart really boom. Or as I can feel it. You understand? I feel my nice, beautiful heart telling me something here. You understand? Or as what's amazing is you can communicate anything in life. Or as every single day focus upon being much more spiritual, and you understand how to really be greatness as well. You can achieve anything you ever want, but just understand to communicate more and come and do a basking event and come and really understand why I do it. I mean, come and understand why I do this. Because I give you the information. I give you the information that's really going to help you, and that's why I start with my eye after a question. I understand every single day I give my nice beautiful heart of nice beautiful solitude of what I do every single day. I focus upon understanding every single day that I'm always flying with the eagles. You understand? I'm never a duck. You understand? I'm flying with the eagles. You understand? I heard somewhere actually that an eagle never has to eat dead food. You understand? I mean, guess what? Or is that because an eagle never has to eat dead food? I mean, guess what the eagle eats? I mean, anything that's alive while it's alive. You understand? I mean, an eagle, in terms of life, is different from other birds. I mean, an eagle just goes and picks up a snake. You understand? I mean, the live snake. I mean, scarecrows or something like another bird will eat something that's actually dead, or plants or something like that. But eagles only ever eat anything that's really alive. You understand? So, or else that's amazing, isn't it? Or else either way, what's amazing is understand to never be the cheater of life. You understand? Or is that when you go and see the cheetah, or as the cheetah goes up to the ponds and starts to drink food, for example, and then what happens is, or as the cheetah believes that it's so powerful that it can go into a nice beautiful lake where a crocodile is to drink some water. Or else now, you must understand that the cheetah believes totally that he can run away from the crocodile. Or as the crocodile goes underneath the water so close that you don't even see it, and it's only half a meter away. Because of why? I mean, why is it half a meter away? Because of this, the actual coloring of the water. So what happens is the crocodile comes even closer, and then it's 10 centimeters away from you. You are unable to tell because of the camouflage of the crocodile. Or as now, what happens? Or as now, because the crocodile is 10 centimeters away from you, or as it just leaps and grabs you, and grabs your head. 10 centimeters away. And then guess what? I mean, the crocodile drags the cheetah that I've seen actually in a documentary into the water, and it's gone. It's just gone underwater. I mean, where is it? I mean, it's underwater. I mean, where are the other cheetahs? I mean, the other cheetahs are watching it. I mean, you understand? I mean, guess what? I mean, why did that cheetah lose life? Because you never go where it's dangerous. You never go to a pond or in life or anywhere where somebody is physically violent with you. You understand? And that's the story of the cheetah and the crocodile. You understand? I promise you, never go somewhere where it's physical. You understand? You go somewhere where it's safety, where you never have to die, and where you never have to watch out for yourself. You go somewhere where you can free flow and just be. You understand? I promise you, that's nice and beautiful, isn't it? So every single day you understand that when the cheetah goes to a duck pond where there's no crocodiles and there's no snakes and there's just water, but it's 100% sure that there's nothing going to eat it. Or else now you can be free. You can jump in the whole water as well. Understand? I mean, be free like that, but never go where the crocodile is, where something may leap at you and grab you and make you die. You understand? I mean, never do that. You understand? So that's why the cheetah died in that scenario. I understand, although, make sure you learn from it. You understand? I mean, make sure you understand to never go where it's dangerous. I mean, never go out at night time because other egotistical people are drinking alcohol with you and because they're doing drugs. You understand? I although understand, I'm never drinking alcohol. I understand although that what's amazing is understand that if you drink alcohol, you must understand that you can actually get physical sickness in this world. I mean, there is such thing as physical sickness. You understand? I mean, now you can never get spiritually sick. I mean, spiritually sick with your words, you can never get sick. I mean, the silence of the image that you see in life and the silence and the breath that you're breathing in terms of the air can never be sick. I mean, eternal life can never be sick. Why? Because it's never physical. I mean, you can never touch it. I mean, something that's cleansing of yourself is eternal life. So understand that what's eternal life is something that you can never touch. I mean, the silence in the air, you can never grab it because that never goes sick. Or as eternal life never goes sick. But my skin, you can grab it and you can cut it off. You can cut off my skin. You can cut off my arm. And then I can actually gain a physical sickness. I mean, look at gangrene. I mean, you can see gangrene and those people who are smokers, or as they get amputated. You understand? I mean, why? Because they get physically sick. You understand? So look after your physical health is what I'm saying. So never, ever place alcohol and drugs into your physical body. You understand? Because that's what the temple of God says. Or as the temple of God is the information of the Bible. And the information of the Bible says you must never poison your temple. You understand? Or else, yes, Jesus said at the nice beautiful gathering and gave the people wine. But did Jesus drink the wine? I promise you no. I promise you that's your choice. I promise you although that Jesus is teaching over here that God allows you to do what you want to do. You understand? I mean, you could do whatever you want. I mean, it's your choice. But Jesus is something that stays away from the alcohol. In a sense, so follow Jesus spiritually like that. In a sense, so either way, or else just because your friend goes to high school with you doesn't make it good for you to do heroin with him. You understand? Or is that you must understand what's more smarter is educate yourself from a young age about what drugs is and what nightclubbing is and how many people have died in terms of those places. You must understand, you go and educate yourself about everything. I mean, educate yourself about the history of festivals and how many people are dying at the festivals and how many people are mentally ill around you and how many people are homeless and how many people are doing drugs and how many people are in prison as well. I mean, check out why exactly are they in prison? And what did they do? And what are the laws of the government and what is going on? I mean, check it out. I mean, go and ask your questions every single day and focus on understanding every single day on how to favor yourself in actual communication skills where you can go and talk it up. I mean, when you talk it up like I can today. Understand? So you talk it up in a way that really helps you. So you're helping yourself to succeed. You're helping yourself to really do life in a better way. But you're just understanding I can do this for another 24 hours. I mean, it's very easy to just keep communicating. I promise you, it's very easy. I promise you, it's like a walk in the park. Understand? So what's amazing is understand every single day, focus upon understanding what makes people great. I promise you, it's just communicational skills. I promise you, look at Jesus Christ. I promise you, Jesus Christ goes and lifts people. You understand? With these, or as he lifts people with his communicational skills, you understand? So when you're really, really understanding to lift people with communicational skills, I mean, look at Martin Luther King Jr. as well. I mean, look at John F. Kennedy. I mean, look at people who actually want to lift the world. You understand? I mean, go and understand how I do life as well, and go and emulate my communicational skills, and go and focus upon that, and then go and focus upon being better than that. I mean, try to outdo me. I mean, try to upload another 600 hours of videos, more than me, on YouTube right now, so that you understand how I do life. But what's amazing is understand that if you only have 2 hours to do something, you just make sure you tell somebody before you even have to speak with them or do anything with them, because understand, sometimes you have to go somewhere. So understand that you can communicate to, let's say, just do you, so you never have to speak to other people in the first place. Or is that what's amazing is just because somebody else wants to come into your video to speak with you at a certain time, I mean, understand that you have a full right to make sure that you can go home if you want. But where is your home? But where is your home? You must understand your home is inside. You must go communicationally and spiritually to communicate to them that you have something better to do than talk to them. You understand? I mean, make sure you understand that when people are trying to actually take 1 hour of your time and they say, stand here with me so you can actually explain it to me. I mean, guess what, Roz? That's 1 hour of your life. I mean, say, hey, I have a YouTube account. I have no time for you. I have no time for you. I apologize. I do love you, but look at my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel over here where I can go and teach you the same aspects of life. So understand, my 1 hour is very valuable. You understand? I have 1 hour to do something that's even more important than speaking with you right now. You understand? So either way, communicate that to them. But if they want to stand in your video for 50 hours, you have to communicate to yourself, to teach yourself, to understand, to teach them everything about life, but also understand to direct them into YouTube so that you can understand to go home, so that you can go have a better life for yourself, because your home is communicational skills, so that you can understand how to grow with that. You must understand your home is spiritual aspects. You must understand you go home in the spiritual dome. Understand? You never go home in the physical world, or as the physical world is not your home. Understand? Or as what is your home is something that's not of this world, as Jesus says, I am not from this world. Understand? You must understand that what's amazing is there's an outer world and there's an inner world. You must understand the inner world is spiritual and the outside world is physical. You understand? But what's amazing is go be something just inside and living inside and understand how to communicate much more, and that is your home. Or else my home is the I-U-Q rule. You understand? Or else the word I is my home. I understand every single day I focus upon understanding that when somebody wants to take away your time, or as when somebody wants to talk to you, you have the total necessary equation to understand that you can tell them, hey, I apologize, but I have to go. I'm really, really productive today. I have something really much more important to do than talk with you. I apologize, but I understand either way that if you shall ever talk to me, you can talk to me online because I have something to do. You understand? I mean, if they want to come into your video, I mean, just say, hey, I have to go now because I only have 2 hours to do this, and guess what? I realize I have more than 2 hours, but I have to go do something that's much more important than standing with you today because I have something to acquire about with my family. You understand? I mean, who is your family? I mean, just you. I mean, just say you have to go with your family somewhere because you are your family. You understand? So what's amazing every single day is focus upon making sure that you're just much more successful, and that's how you be just something much greater. But make sure every single day you're just much more of an inspiration, because that's what you want to be. You want to be an inspiration so you can live your life to the best of your ability. You understand? So every single day focus upon making sure something in your life is just treasuring yourself to grow, because that's the only aspect of life.